quadrangle, which consists of the area which is where the toilet is now. It's going to extend over a certain area. That will be block number 1, block number 2, and block number 3. Basically creating this sort of hands that will hold the quadrangle together. Basically we'll end up with this we'll end up with 27 classrooms. They're all very large classrooms. They are 30 by 30, simply because learning in the future is not going to be rows of students and someone teaching. It's going to be a totally interactive thing. It's going to be very different. You might have workstations, you might have discussion groups all happening in the same room. So we have to look further than looking at a standard classroom like what we had in the middle school. The next block that we're looking at is the area behind, which is the botanical gardens, which is behind the dining room block. So that would form the main buildings in the quadrangle. Basically, the main entrance to this block would be from near the chapel, but set back so that it doesn't sort of overpower the chapel. The height of the building is going to be ground plus 2 floors, so it's roughly about the height of the hall, with the block at the end being 3 floors, that is ground plus 3 floors, and the block behind, which is the one in the behind the dining hall, also ground plus 3 floors. So basically, the other thing that we were looking at was the possibility of having an access from Hotel Road. The reason is that school finishes say at 2 o'clock and the buildings are going to be empty. And we were thinking maybe if college can rent some of this space out in the evenings to some sort of professional classes, maybe we can get some money. So this is actually Hotel Road and the entrance from Hotel Road. So that is the Hotel Road frontage with the buildings behind. I haven't put the trees and so on, but it will be all covered in trees so that you see less of the buildings. But this example is as you walk through between the old Miller building and the new building on the right, with the dining hall beyond you. What we tried to do was to get the same spirit of the buildings that we have in our middle school, so that the scale would be the same, because we are looking at maybe 300-400 students coming out at the same time. So you need corridors which are not 3 feet, but maybe 10 feet wide, so that people can walk through easily. So this is one of the typical corridors that you would see going through. We use the same sort of formats of the window systems and so on that we have in the other areas. Again, looking at from block number 1 towards block number 2 along the corridor, and from block number 2 looking further down. So basically this is the scale of the buildings that we're looking at. This is a view from block number 2 towards the big club. So you have block number 1 on your left, the dining hall on your right, and the hall and the big club further down. This is basically the form of the quadrangle. You have these buildings coming around it and the dining hall on the left hand side. That's the dining hall on the left and the building. So they have some sympathy with the buildings that we already have, and that's something that we were very, very conscious about, because we want to make sure that we didn't put in an alien thing into the landscape. We want to get something which had some sympathy with what we already have and add to that rather than subtract from that. This is what it stands at the moment. As we are running short of time, thank you very much. Esto perpetua.
Even as the main course arrives upon your tables, we have another winning proposition, and that comes from the Sampat Bank. It is yet to be launched, but it has already been conceptualized and will unfold in the days to come. It's a very special provision via the Sampat Bank. And this will be the launch of a special credit card, and a portion of the fees for enrollment as well as the renewal of every credit card will accrue to the fund that was alluded to just a little while ago. Plus, a certain percentage in every transaction will also likewise be credited to the Senior Quadrangle Building Fund. So we thought we'll leave that with you, and if you feel inclined, you might want to recognize with a warm round of applause that magnanimity displayed by the Sampat Bank. If you would like to find out a little more about this very special provision, there is in fact a stall just outside, and as you exit, you will see, and maybe you can obtain some information with regard to that. So the Sampat Bank special credit card to support the college. So I think that what I said was sufficient unto the moment. One other thing, the Old Boys Association and those people who have already been mentioned and those not mentioned maybe, have also seen it fit to have a little stall set up now that will display for sale some outstanding souvenirs, and you might want to purchase them. Isn't that right, Dilshan? You might want to purchase them, because I haven't yet seen the merchandise. I hardly need to use that kind of word, but I'll use the term merchandise. They have beautiful caps, wonderful hats, a few ties maybe, and t-shirts. And they are souvenirs and have a special resonance with people here. So you can, on your way out, also pause by that stall, which is on this side. Okay, enjoy the main course. Ladies and gentlemen, we trust that you've had a scrumptious repast and enjoyed it, but more than everything else, no doubt, the companionship of friends and meeting new ones. We would like at this juncture to mention some people with deep appreciation. I'm sure we're We're going to hear a little more in that direction shortly. But we would like to recognize as our main sponsor of this event, Sri Lanka Telecom. And along with them, we have co-sponsors in the shape and form of HVA Foods, Saligo Life, Haris Chandra Mills, Mathura, Lanka Transformers, and a great deal of work done sort of back room, but very much front as well. Bates Strategic Alliance, thank you very much for your artistic interventions. And we have media sponsors in Vijaya newspapers. And Event Productions Private Limited have kind of put everything together as the event sponsor. Now, I don't want to really spring a surprise, but we do intend to have some people come up on stage and, as they say, take a bow, because they deserve your accolade. But am I jumping the gun? That's where my fear lurks. Anyway, I'll scream out the names and hopefully you will come up. We'd like to invite up on stage from the Mount Lavinia Hotel, Takshila Galapati. Takshila Galapati, please. And the executive chef of the Mount Lavinia Hotel, who's obviously done what he does best and for us, Mr. Indika Jayawardena. I have jumped the gun. Serves me, I was not a member of the Rifle Shooting Association. Don't know the back end from the front. But we have maybe somebody else who we can have and persuade to take a bow. Roshan Vijayaratna and Rayush Vijayaratna from Event Productions Private Limited. Now, you to come up here. Rayush, you've got to come. Bring a papa with you. Two fine young men, oh well, from my perspective, yes. Father and son. Do we have, Takshila is busy phoning his boss to say. There he is. Takshila Galapati. Underneath that cool exterior is a great deal of perspiration. Those two gentlemen are cooling off in front of the air conditioner. I was in Udawalava last week and I had similar visions, different perspectives. I don't want to call you buffaloes or anything, but okay, we have the connoisseur of fine food and a voice from Halsdorf, Mr. Dilshan Jazz Surya, who serves as the secretary of a vibrant OBA. He's not here to take a bow. He has a few things to let on you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. It is an absolute pleasure to see such a distinguished gathering of Thomians and their spouses this evening at an event like no other. You are indeed part of history in the making. I say so because this is the very first occasion in the recent history of college where a host of distinguished old Thomians and their spouses have come together to dine at college with a singular purpose at heart, and that being to raise funds for college. It is so pleasant and also surprising to see so many Thomians being accompanied by their spouses or female acquaintances. You have, by your conduct, disproved the age-old canard that where preferences of Thomians are concerned, old habits die hard. You have truly left behind your old boyhood habits in college and moved on in life since leaving the portals of this college. Contrary to popular belief, royalists have the tendency to pick up what Thomians discard later in life. Post-college, Thomians gradually lift their focus on better areas, whilst royalists